Hello and welcome back. Steel Pinnings here once again. And today I have a very special lock. I have this dimple lock that was repaired and restored by Potty 314. It's a Wilka. I do believe it's a 5-pin. Yeah. 5-pin dimple with a crazy little dimple core. Keyway, I mean. Draw a close up over here. And getting around all that warding, I found it really tough, and I had to modify one of my picks to fit it. And I'll have to either do it upside down or pick it European style, right side up. So we're gonna try it right side up. We're gonna go for it, and we'll have high hopes. So we can find it on there. Turn it back like this. Over here. There we go. Here I am. Now, tension. Let's think about this. I want to use as thick a tension as possible to rotate and manipulate the core, and I'd like to be able to manipulate it both ways, as I know there are spools in here. I think that'll work. We'll just tap it in, kind of wedge it in there this way is what I'm doing. See, now I can, well, no, it didn't want to stay, did it? Dadgum. We'll put a little more mustard on it here. Bring out the brass hammer. Brass hammer. There we go. Well, yeah, it's still not perfect, but better than nothing. I'm gonna use this pick I modified from the Honest Dong, and I've rounded it off, I think, fairly good. Makes for a much smoother operation by all means. And let me see here if I can get up a little bit above it. Come down on it there. Yeah, that's a little bit better, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, we're going to start there. And we're one bound. Two. I found with dimple locks, I really play by feel, and I don't mean feedback feel as much as, well, as I'd like to, honestly. I have to imagine what it looks like and where my pick is according to the pins. And ultimately, all I'm doing, there we go, we're open. All I'm really doing is You ever, I guess the best assimilation I can come up with here is, have you ever tried to, even your signature, have you ever tried to write your signature really fast? Well, of course, and that's how you get better at it. But have you ever tried to do it with your eyes closed? That makes the chore much, much more difficult. Give it a try sometime. It is a chore. Let's see if we can get this off of here. I think it's kind of wedged on real nice and easy, honestly. Pop, pop. And we're barely pulled off of there, so there is a trap pin. That's what goes along with this. I remember him saying in his video he didn't know what that was for. I think I figured out that it's for that pin, but it's not that pin per se, as it doesn't match up in this core, or this core isn't for this housing per se. But I found that whenever I do it, you see, I almost lost my camera. I found that whenever I do it, if I rotate it too far, I wind up messing up, and that first number 1 pin will drop down into now that number 1 driver will drop down into the, it's hard to even show it. Maybe if I zoom. But right here is that little pin. It's really hard to see. See if I have a flashlight here that can help us see it. There we go. There. That pin right there. Anyway, it drops down and allows that number 1 driver to fall down into its respective spot. So ultimately I just don't want to have that happen in the gutting here. Okay, that's on that end. There's nothing there then. Okay. We should be good at where we're at. Just gonna need a follower. That one's too big. Gave her a little shove there, huh? And I threw out the dadgum first 2 pins and the trap pin. There's the trap pin. Number 1, number 2. Okay. Well, at least we figured that out, right? Or actually, these are the number 1 and number 2 of these little passive key control pins. Those things are awesome, and all they'd have to do is extend a little bit of the core, or if it was in a housing like more like our mortise housing, they could put another Bible right there and have an entire another set go off of the key. It's really makes me wonder why they didn't and don't do that, but nonetheless, let's get my tweezers. This is that trap pin, and then our key pins here, and we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 6 on the core here isn't populated anymore because Potty repurposed the pin that was in it, and because the number 1 pin was chewed up, somebody had just tried to destructively enter it. There's not a lot done to the core. There's a lot of drill protection, which I guess Underwriter Laboratories would just love them for it. That's that trap pin area right there. Okay, and let's get these driver pins out of here. And one is standard. I think there's a couple spools. 2 is standard. 3 is the spool, and they're pretty deep spools. I'll show them up close here in just a moment. 4 is another spool. We spun that one. I bet number 5 is a standard. Yes. There we go. Okay, all the springs are the same. Turn that there. Scoot this over just a little bit. I'm going to pull these down and arrange them a little bit better, like they're supposed to be. Well, there we go. I'll zoom into them and give everybody a good close look here. Alright. I can see there the number 1 is standard. The key pin is standard on all of them. Actually, this one has a serration on it. If you look real close at it, it does have a serration right along it there. Pretty little serration too. Nonetheless, number 1 is standard, 2 is standard, 3 is a spool, 4 is a spool, 5 is standard, and these spools are fairly deep. I like them. They're nice and tall, fairly deep. This was a very, very fun little lock. There's nothing hard about it. I guess the only thing hard about it would be the warding, and once I modified a pick to get around it, it was pie. And it was good pie. I thank y'all very much for joining me in this pick. Like I said, all the springs are the same, yeah. Y'all please stay safe and always stay legit. If you like this video and like what I do here, hit that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And as always, until we meet again, peace.